Hello, welcome to TippyVlogs. This is a new series I am starting, where I talk about what I'm doing musically at the moment, as well as some other, life things. So a lot of you are probably coming over from my music Instagram account, TippyViews. So you're probably wondering, oh, what's happening with TippyViews? It's dead. I've killed it, and I'll tell you why. It was an extremely ambitious project that I did not have the motivation to keep. So I've decided to do something maybe a little lower effort, not no effort, mind you. While this review may look a little bit rough, I promise it's gonna get a lot better. It's gonna sound a lot better. There's gonna be music. There's gonna be title cards, and you best be prepared for the title cards. They're gonna rock your world. Those title cards. But yeah, I feel like I'd be able to keep this up weekly a lot better than writing 3 to 4 flash fiction pieces every week, which is ostensibly the amount of effort I really wanted to put into Tippy Views. So I plan to release these weekly. That's the current trajectory. I plan to release them on Monday. It is currently Tuesday. That's because I only started last Tuesday. I didn't actually intend to do this on the previous Sunday and Monday. Hey, so it's definitely not the next day. Anyway, Monday and Sunday, what happened there? Sunday, I went to band practice. I'm in a band. I went to practice with it. And on Monday, I helped my dad build a carport. So not much music happened, really. What did happen was that I watched Darkman by Samuel Raimi. If you really want to see the wondrous extent of green screen technology, it's a perfect film to check out. The composite shots are truly phantasmagorical. They are breathe so much life compared to whatever Marvel is doing with their billion-dollar effects team, frankly. And in general, like, to compare this to like the modern Marvel films, it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more fun. If you're a little bit discontent with what they're putting out, you really need to do yourself a service and go watch Darkman. Another thing, right? Monday, I found a hot chocolate container, and that leads straight into Tuesday, because what happened on Tuesday was that I made a snare drum. It's actually what's holding up the camera at the moment. So I started off by trying to attach some of these microphone stand strings, and in fact you can see one of them still missing because I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. I'll find it eventually. Anyway, nailed that on. And then it didn't do anything. It didn't sound like anything. It wasn't great. So I decided to take another approach. Right, I laid some washers on the metallic side of the container, and it created a rattling. I would describe it as snare-like, mayhaps. So I decided to drill these little washers on, with the intention of hitting the other side and it to be able to vibrate the bottom, much like a snare. Didn't work, so I ended up having to play on the silver side. Now, does this sound like a snare drum? No, not at all. But what's more important is, does it fill the role as a snare drum? At the moment, I don't think it does either. But that's the goal we're getting to. Not necessarily this is a snare, but this is an appropriate snare substitute. Anyway, my musical ambitions had to be put on hold because I needed to go to the big city, the Big Apple, right? Because I wanted some nice gloves, and there's really only one place you get nice gloves nowadays, and that's Daiso. I don't know why none of the other retail shops sell nice gloves. It's odd. Anyway, while I was there, I decided to pick up a banh mi, because I'm not much of a fan of coriander or cilantro. I don't like it, but I'm trying to like it. So I got the most appropriate vessel for this herb, I've been told, and it was pretty good. Honestly, my biggest problem with this sandwich in particular from Saigon Alley was the pork belly wasn't very well seasoned, honestly. Also, like, I felt like a really weird crunch when I was eating it. I'm sure that's nothing. Anyway, got the gloves. they're here. You can see them in my hands. And I went home and then watched Northern Line streams for like 4 hours, and that was my day. All right, so Wednesday, I was reevaluating some of the footage where I was using the mic stand as a ride, and I thought it sounded okay, but I really wanted a hat for this song, so I decided to. I'd seen people use like the lids of tin cans to make kind of like a trashy hi-hat sound. So I was like, well, I wonder if I could do this with a beer can. So here's me cutting up a beer can. I also tried to bang around like the ends of it. It sounded kind of horrible, so you know. But even in this rolled up state, you can kind of hear that there's a usable timbre. It just needs a different form, I think. So I'm gonna try and flatten it under these books. So after that, I decided to practice rudiments, because that's what you're supposed to do as a drummer. I did the single strokes, I did the double strokes, I did the paralladiddle, and I was not very successful anyway. But I kept practicing while this tin can flattened. Anyway, let's go back. Let's see how that tin can, that beer can is going. It just went right back. Okay. So I decided to take another approach, kind of rolling it up the other way. And that worked out fine. Cut it in half, and then I nailed it to our board, and then we have a hi-hat. So it's Thursday, the third day. That's not right. It's the fifth day. Yeah, I thought that was Friday. No, yeah, it's the fifth day. Anyway, Thursday I got to practicing, and then I got to recording, and that went bad. The first recordings that I did, the feel was not very correct, and also the click track was bleeding through to them, so I had to re-record them. And then the second round of recordings, guess what? The feel was wrong, and the click track was still bleeding through, so I had to go again. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the click track will disappear into the mix, and it'll never be there. Gonna have to record it. And finally, I got some acceptable performances that I cut up, and I got a completed drum part. So you're hearing the drum part now. You might look at that EQ and think that cut's quite ridiculous, but trust me, you don't want to hear it off. That's it off. That's horrible. Turn it back on. Yeah, I'm not letting the compressor do much here. We're not really at the mixing stage. I'm just making it sound somewhat passable, because I don't want to be annoyed by it and then give up. So Friday, that's the sixth day. I've got it in my mind now. Friday was when I had to go to the dentist, right? Because you know how I was talking about that crunch from the banh mi. That was my tooth shattering in my mouth, apparently. So I had to go to a dentist, and yes, I have a big old cavity in one of my molars that they're going to deal with in a few weeks. That I got to clean as well, and then I went home and decided, to relax a little bit. I'd go and download Victoria 2 again. I haven't played it for a while, and that was a horrible mistake. I spent about 8 to 10 hours playing this game, and I don't think I was having fun. I felt like there was like a weight on my soul, like there was something coming, like something coming out of me, like energy wise. It feels like how I imagine like League of Legends players feel every day. So anyway, I uninstalled it, and then I installed it again the next day. But I feel like I can be an adult about it. I feel like I can regulate my playtime, and I won't lose my mind again. Unfortunately, Sunday was a day where my family was coming over. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. It was a lovely thing, but for my musical progress, my family came over because we were going on a wedding on that Sunday, so I didn't really get a lot done. So that is the first week of the vlog. Was that a watchable video? I don't think so. I don't know if you enjoyed that, but I hope that the next one you will, because I'll try a lot harder. Um, yeah. I hope you had a good time. Goodbye. Leave.